Sometimes your problem are not over. Maybe they've even just started, because this is not your father's country. For most people, nobody knows you. A whole me coming to take this kind of job. Like, how? Did you just jump from where you are to come to the new country? Everybody's going. I need to move. Give yourself some grace. Pat yourself on the back. Hello guys, how are you doing today? I hope that you're doing great. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video on my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you some of the mistakes that new migrants make when they are making their plans to move abroad, and eventually when they get to their new destination. Not only will I be sharing these mistakes with you, but I'll also be sharing some tips to help you thrive at your new destination. Right now, there's so much rave about moving abroad, living abroad. People are moving, especially from African countries to other countries of the world. And so today, my aim of sharing some of these mistakes is not to scare you or to discourage you, but just to make you understand that you are not alone. Some of these mistakes are normal, but some are things that you can avoid. So be sharing these mistakes today so that you can understand them if you don't already, and so you'll be able to avoid them. And eventually, even when you make them, you can understand that you are not the first person encountering such. It's a normal thing, it's a normal process, and so you learn and then you move on. So stay with me today as I share all of these things. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell right next to it so that you'll be notified whenever I share new videos. Thank you so much, guys, and let's go into today's content. So this first mistake is a mistake people commonly make before they even move abroad, and that is listening to the wrong people, telling the wrong people their plans. I know that some people try to be discreet as much as possible, but there are still some categories of people that feel like, oh, let me ask this person, let me ask this person, let me ask this person. It's okay to ask questions and get feedback. It's part of making research, but as much as possible, you want to ensure that you are sharing your move abroad plans with the right people, because some people will discourage you. They will only tell you the negatives about things that are happening in the place that you're intending to go. Say, for instance, they might say, in USA is not secure. There are lots of killings, robbery, attacks, shooting. Why do you want to go to that place? Don't go there. USA care. Somebody that has gone for 5 years, person's been washing plate, doing 3 jobs. Is that kind of life you want to do? I remember when we were growing up, it's one of the things that we used to hear, and it was even one of the things that didn't make traveling abroad very appealing to me growing up, because I used to feel like people just go abroad to go and do 10 jobs. They don't have a life. They're only paying taxes, and a lot of negative stories. Nobody tells you the good side of things. And honestly, it's not like when you travel abroad things are rosy and things are perfect. You need to understand, and you need to be very careful about the kind of people you tell your move abroad plans. That's what I'm trying to point out. Like, it might be good for you. That it didn't work for somebody does not mean that it should not work for you. So be sure that the people that you're speaking to are people that are really there, that can give you the true information about things that are happening. They're not people that will paint things that are not as big as it's very bright, opportunities are there, whereas the opportunities are not even as much as what you expect. Some people have ended up in bad countries today because of wrong information. They will tell them, when you come to this country, there are lots of jobs, you don't even need to, they paint things so beautiful and all of that. And when people come, they now have dashed hopes. So what I'm specifically trying to say under this is ensure that the people you are speaking to are the right people. Sometimes you might want to speak to more than one person, maybe speak to 2 people, but outside speaking to all of these people, still do your own research. So this first point is for you to ensure that you are not communicating with the wrong people about your plans, and also ensure that you do your own research for the new place that you are going to, which is one of the mistakes that people also make. That is leading me to point number 2. People don't make adequate research about their proposed new environment. They just want to go there and go live. Like, this person told me when I get here, housing is available. This person has said that there are jobs and all of that. Have you read the news? What's the news saying about the place that you are going to? And sometimes, just like the Bible said, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the truth shall be established. So don't just speak to one person. Speak to one person, speak to 2 people, and also ensure that the category of people you are speaking to are people that are probably on the same level as you, because the experiences of people will differ. Say, for instance, you are going as a student and going to talk to someone that has migrated to that country as a skilled worker. Their experiences will be different. The kind of advice they will give you will definitely be different. Both of them might live in the same country, but they are not facing the same kind of challenges. So ensure that when you're making your research, talking to people, you're talking to the right people. Don't talk to people that will discourage you, number 1, and number 2, don't talk to people that will give you false information that will not paint the true picture of things to you. And in addition to that, ensure that you do your own research and you're sure of facts, and ensure that, oh, this is the right plan for you and that you're ready before making the moves. Another mistake that people make is not having a plan. People just treat moving abroad like a pack and go adventure. Everybody's going, I need to move. I need to move. You know, people give themselves timelines like, I'm going to leave in the next 2 months, and they are so desperate about it. They go all out for it, whereas they are not ready. They don't have a plan, they don't have a backup plan. Okay, when you get there, fine, you're going as a student, but what are you going to do? How are you going to pay your school fees? What kind of jobs will you be able to do? What are the resources available to you? Do you have support? You know, they don't have any plan about what they're going to do even after graduation. Agreed, when you get into your new environment, some of those things are things that you can learn. But I've seen that some people come with no plan. You know, they make their plans around people a lot. They make their plans around things that they can't control. If you make your plans around people and eventually get into the environment, people start making excuses, what are you going to do? You can't blame them. Everybody has their own challenges they face, especially abroad. People earn hourly rates most times, and so every hour, every minute is important to them. So you can't blame them. And due to some things, it might have promised you that, I'll be able to accommodate you when you come. But when you come, maybe things change and they can't accommodate you anymore. What are you going to do? What I usually encourage people is, when you're planning to move abroad, have like a 6 month to 1 year plan. Like, okay, in this 1 year, I'm going to save enough money. This is the country I'm interested in going to. Make research about that country. How much you need to migrate to that country. Save enough money for it. If you're doing a 9 to job and you realize that your salary might not be enough at the end of 1 year to get you to where you are going to, why not try to, within that 1 year, take up extra jobs, like jobs that you can take up that can help you make more income, maybe on weekends or even online, just extra side income. So that within that 1 year, by the time you are going into your new country, you have substantial amount of money that can sustain you for like 1 year, 2 years. People come into the country and they are stranded, they don't have money. And you're wondering, like, how? Did you just jump from where you are to come to the new country? The basic thing I'm trying to advise against is, as much as possible, limit making your plans around people, around things that are outside of your control. As much as possible, ensure that you take your time. Don't just rush into it. Have a 6 month to 1 year plan. Within this 1 year as well, try to see, when I get there, what are other means of making income that I can put into place. You know, if you need to learn a new skill, learn a new skill. And that is taking me to the next point, which is about not preparing. People don't prepare when they want to move abroad. Like I said, they treat it like a pack and go adventure. They don't prepare mentally, they don't prepare financially, they don't prepare even spiritually, they don't prepare. So mentally might be you like bracing yourself to like, oh, I know that this is a new adventure, this is a new environment, I might experience some challenges. Don't get me wrong, all of us have different grace that applies to us. We all pray that things will work out well and good. But sometimes, what if it doesn't work out as you expect? Because let me tell you, migration can test your mental stamina. It can really, sometimes you now begin to doubt, like, God, did I make the right decision? Especially probably if you were leaving your country and you're earning well, and you have come to a new country, you didn't get a job on time, you're wondering, God, hey, why did I sell my car? Why did I do this one to come? You know, it can test your mental stamina. So you need to really prepare yourself. Part of preparing yourself is also like taking up skills. Like, okay, in the new environment that you are going to, what are the kind of skills that are in demand, that is helping people get job on time? For those kind of skills, you can, if you see that they are available in your own country to learn, you will learn them before you go, so that when you get into the new country, out of the pool of applicants, it can stand you out. Also, in terms of preparing spiritually, is you praying. All of us want things to happen for us, but we know that things in the physical are sometimes are usually controlled in the spiritual already. So you need to put prayers ahead, like pray. Don't just dabble into it and expect that you can control things. This life, a lot of things are beyond our control, but when we depend on God, when we pray to God, grace makes things easy and available for us. So ensure that you take your time to pray, ensure that you prepare by saving enough, and also ensure that you brace yourself up for it. Build yourself up mentally, build yourself up by gathering enough skills. Another common mistake that people make when they travel abroad is expecting comforts having high unrealistic expectations when they land. This is not your father's country. For most people, nobody knows you. Some people might be lucky that they have relatives already in the country where they are moving to. Maybe they have uncles or aunts or cousins and all of that might help them. But some of us that didn't have anybody, you know, it would be wrong for us to come in and expect that it's abroad, the money grows on trees. I don't know if anybody still believes all of those things that we're told that, growing up, making us believe that money grows on trees abroad, people are enjoying, life is easy and all of that. It's not rosy. It's not rosy. And I usually tell people, like, give yourself grace of like 1 to 2 years for things to begin to balance out. In the first year, you are still settling, you are still trying to, you know, get a job. In the first year, some people don't even get good jobs on time. They might have to make do with survivor jobs in the meantime. And that's one of the reasons why you need to prepare yourself mentally. Because if you prepare yourself mentally, whatever the kind of job you get on time, you will not reject it and be thinking, a whole me coming to take this kind of job. I'm not saying that you should be satisfied with little. I'm just saying that sometimes for survival, when you come in, you would need to take the jobs that are available. So far, they are legal. I don't see anything that is wrong with it. It is you that will use your mouth to broadcast to people that this is the job that you are doing. If you don't tell anybody, nobody cares. And honestly, I've listened to stories of people that have come here before I did. And I've honestly realized that, see, it is how you paint your story. And it is also all part of the success story. It is not usually easy. Like the first 1 to 2 years, that's why I said give yourself like a 1 to 2 year grace period for things to balance out. Whatever you encounter in the first year, second year, that's why you need to hold on to God so that you don't give up easily. Those things are normal. Don't think that you are the only one encountering them. Don't think that you've made a wrong decision. Don't think that you've moved at the wrong time. Don't think that, oh, this is not a good decision for you. Go through those things. They're also part of the process and part of your success story, part of the things that are building you for the next phase of your life. But the important thing is, whatever is coming at you, try to see what you need to, what you can do better so that you can leverage opportunities that come or have opportunities that are in the new environment. Don't just stay at that position. So don't have high unrealistic expectation. Like, don't think that when you get to your new destination, especially when you're moving from maybe like Africa to developed countries and you feel like, oh, comfort, like your problems are over. Sometimes your problems are not over. Maybe they've even just started because, you know, like I said, nobody knows your daddy, nobody knows your mommy. So it's left for you to fight your way to success. So minimize your expectations, brace yourself, be ready to do what you need to do to survive. Also in line with this is for you not to beat yourself up when you make errors or when you fail. Like I said, 1 to 2 years, expect a lot of trial and errors. That is one of the reasons why it's also important for you to talk to people so that you can avoid some of these errors. But even when you fall into these errors, don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace, you know, learn from those errors and move on. And you need to know that migration is stressful. It is really, really stressful. It's a whole lot moving from one state to another within the same country. So imagine how much more stressful it would be moving yourself and some of your things from one country to another. It is really, really stressful. It can be daunting. It's easier for some than others. Like I said, some people already have family members in the country they are moving to. Some of us don't have anybody. But whatever it is that is your situation, give yourself some grace. Pat yourself on the back. Don't be discouraged. This next mistake is something that people make partially before they move into their environment and even when they move into their new environment, and that is not learning about their new environment. Before you travel already, you should try to do some research beforehand. Like try to understand what accommodation system is like how easy is it to get accommodation, transportation, what are the things that you would need to move around, is there a good transit system in the place that you're moving to, like would you need to get a car to survive in these states, are there a lot of jobs in these states? Because moving into a country, especially a country like America, different states have different systems. You'll be so surprised how states are so much different from each other. Like you can go to New York and the kind of life you will live is definitely far different from somebody living in Texas, honestly. So you need to understand, okay, what state am I going to in this country? What is applicable? How is medicals done? What are the opportunities for children? Is it okay to come with my kids? So many things. ensure that you do your research, especially in terms of transportation. It is very important. And also getting into the new environment, you need to let this new environment help you discover a new side of you. One of the things I've observed is when people travel about, one or two things will definitely change about you. And so in allowing this change, you need to ensure that your core does not change. You would realize that when people move abroad, some people become, I don't want to delve into details, but I believe that you guys will understand me. Some people become better, some people become worse. It can go either way. It can go either way. Some people become distracted and, they just start living their lives nonchalantly because now they feel like they, especially for people that are coming as students that they've never traveled before, they feel like they have all the freedom in the world and they start, but others then become more challenged, more focused, more determined, and then they press on. You see people that you think that were not serious before in their country, and when they come in, you see how they are putting in so much effort in learning different things. They take different certifications, they are constantly building themselves, they are getting better. So whatever it is, my encouragement on this to you is when you get into your new environment, let this new environment help you discover a better side of you. And as you are discovering a new side of you, ensure that you remain true to your core. If you're a Christian, don't try to deviate from the faith because now you feel like, I don't need God, now I'm abroad, my prayers are answered and all of that. Don't let it deviate you from things that are important to you. Also, be ready to throw out some limiting beliefs or ideologies that you used to believe in your new environment. Like when I got into America, I realized that some of the things I used to hold on tightly to in Nigeria, I thought like, oh, this is the way things should be done. I was able to like trash them. Like, no, this is like, in Nigeria, there's this thing that when you see a person look a certain way, just begin to write them off like, this kind of person, it's not like that. America, yeah, when people dress sometimes, it doesn't mean that, I'm not saying that it's good to dress a certain kind of way, but I'm saying that sometimes when people dress, sometimes in a way, might be because, number one, might be because of health situation, you might not know. Sometimes it might also be because of the way the weather is affecting them. Unlike in Nigeria, where some people dress in a way, people have their different reasons for dressing the way they dress. But what I'm just saying is that try to throw out some ideologies. If you're somebody that is judgmental, try to throw out all of those things. Just try to understand people. Whatever limiting beliefs that exist in your environment, like stereotyping people, thinking that, oh, women are like this, men are like this, some of those things don't operate in your new environment, especially in developed countries. So you need to be able to reevaluate your thoughts, reevaluate your beliefs, like, oh, these things, are they really true? But that's why I'm saying that as much as all of these changes are coming to you, you should understand the core of who you are and not let all of those things change you. This is very important. Changes will come at you, definitely. You either become more reserved, become more vocal, whatever it is, different kinds of changes. Like, change is something you cannot avoid. That is one thing that is for sure, but ensure that you don't let it change the core of who you are. And another thing that I've seen happen is that some people tend to associate with the wrong people when they arrive at their new destination. And honestly, we all are adults. As an adult, you've already built your habits, you built your character, your personality, but it doesn't mean that sometimes you are not susceptible to influences from other people. So it's always important to be in the right environment and group of people. You will find yourself that if you associate with the right type of people in developed countries, people that are very ambitious, that are pushing towards goals, you realize that it also motivates you and pushes you to want to do those kind of things. Like when you have friends that you guys are talking about certifications, you're talking about moves, you're talking about career moves that you're making, you're talking about investment moves that you're making, it's one way or the other motivate you to also want to put in those kind of plans. But if you don't have those kind of friends, you have friends that are talking about going to parties today, going clubbing tomorrow. I'm not saying that all of those things are bad or not good, but I'm just saying that those shouldn't be the only kinds of friends that you have that are always telling you about how to go into frivolities, engage in different antisocial behavior, not friends that are motivating or challenging you to go the right way. One way or the other, it might get to you. Let's not lie. One way or the other, you will just realize that one day they'll tell you something, you now feel like, oh, it's not a big deal. They'll now tell you like, come on, chill out, things like that. Even if they don't tell you or you don't follow them or the other thing, it's always more helpful when you're in the right group of people that motivate or challenge, because those kind of people have information. They can also guide you, they can advise you, oh, like this is what I did, there's some information in your new environment, things like that. So it's always very important for you to associate with the right type of people. Do not find yourself in the wrong group or category of people. Part of learning about your new environment is also you learning about personal finance as it applies to your new environment. My approach to personal finance when I was back home in Nigeria is different from what my approach is right now in America. So in your new country, you need to learn about credit management, which is not something that we had back home in Nigeria. Learn about the banking system, which is a bit different. You need to learn about investments, opportunities, debt utilization opportunities, things like that. Even cash back system, like in the US, there's a lot of opportunities for you to earn money that you're spending from. You need to earn from money that you're spending. You need to look out for all of those things, learn about them. There are products or companies that have loyalty programs. You need to be able to evaluate them and see things that are available to you. If not, you realize that you're leaving money on the table. And one of the things that I've realized over the years of being in this country is you need to always ask questions. If you don't ask questions, some information are just there like this, you will not know. And you will keep paying in full for something that you could pay half the price for. So always try to ask questions, watch videos about people that are living in that country that can tell you things that are happening, things that they've done, you know. Like there was a certain time that I went to a store actually, and I was supposed to pay, I'm not sure how much I was supposed to, but I think I was supposed to like $80 something or something for that product. But I ended up paying like half the price because I asked a question. So that day I just asked the staff like, oh, are there any coupons available, which is something I usually do. And then it was until then, it was when I asked that she eventually told me about the coupon that was available for that day. And with that, I was able to slash my price to like half the price. So imagine saving that. Every amount counts. You might think that it's just small money, but I'm telling you, all of these things come together. You don't want to be throwing money around. So ensure that you're speaking to the right people and learning things as it applies to your new environment. So for today's video, I'll be rounding off this video with this last point, which is another mistake I've seen people make, which is isolating themselves. It's good to be reserved if that's the kind of person you are. It's fine. It might not help you as much in the long run. So as much as possible, try to network. And you can network through your church, through your community. Maybe you are an African or a Nigerian, try to look for Nigerian communities, an African community, to meet people, especially people that have been there before you. Talk to them like, oh, what are the things that you think I can do? What are opportunities available? And your networking should be mixed. You want to network with the indigenes of the country, and you also want to network people from your own community as well, so that whatever opportunities applies on both sides, you would not miss out of it. But isolating yourself is definitely not a good way to go. It will not get you anywhere. Let me tell you, you can't know everything. And also the way we're designed to socialize. So you need to socialize, and it's not when you need people that then begin to reach out to them. People would be willing to come through for you if you're also the kind of person that comes through for people. So communicate with people, get in touch with them, stay in touch with them, and also ensure that you are maximizing your community. Don't just stay on your own. So I'll leave you with two bonus tips, guys. The first one is for you to engage in a new hobby or interest when you get into a new country. One of the reasons why I encourage this is to deal with loneliness, especially for people that don't have friends or family members in the new environment they are moving to. Honestly, loneliness one way or the other will come at you. You would feel like, oh God, because especially for countries that have time difference from your home country, such that when things happen you cannot just immediately call up your family and friends, you know, things like that. So if you find something new in the environment, it might be as much as fitness. Maybe start a new fitness hobby, get a fitness group or a gym that you start attending. You will not walk all the time. You would walk fine, but you still also need to make out for fun activities so that you don't get discouraged, because like I said, migration is stress. So a lot of things will come at you, and one of the ways that will help you rebuild mentally is to engage in a hobby or something of interest to you. Then the last tip, which is sort of like an encouragement, is for you not to despise the days of your humble beginning. Guys, like I said, you've just come into a new country. You're probably starting from scratch, especially for people that are coming in as students, not as workers that already have a job. At this point, you're probably starting from scratch because you're going to school, you're going to learn. When you finish, you're going to get a job, most likely as entry level or something. So it's almost like you're starting again, and you now begin to feel like, oh God, and I was already clinical in this place, so I was already clinical in this place. So don't be discouraged. Don't despise the days of your humble beginnings. Don't feel like you are not moving forward. Don't feel like it's not a good decision that you have made. Just keep moving at it, and one day at a time, very soon you will smile and you will look back and you will know that it's all been worth it. It's all been worth it. And I believe that it is definitely worth it. I've seen a lot of people that have come here before me, people that even came in at the time I came, and I realized that it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. It might not be easy at the start, which is normal, but it's definitely worth it. All right, so those are the few things that I wanted to share with you today. I hope that you've been able to grab one or two things, and if there's any other thing that you think I have missed out from today's conversation, please leave your suggestions also below in the comment section so that other people that are reading as well can learn from you. So based on your own experience, what are the things that has helped you as a new migrant in a new country? What are some of the mistakes that you made that you think that others should not make as well? Try to leave them in the comment section below, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye.